Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and the last video where I made this track bike was terrible. This is so I went online and looked at videos because I had seen pictures of after the fact of one track bikes, and apparently they're short and you have to lean them back and turn them manually. You can't actually, and I can understand that because I know how track vehicles in the military work. There's two tracks and one goes forward and one goes back, and it turrets back and forth like that. So I'm going to do it again, hopefully better this time. Let me get a saw here. So I'm going to start by making my seat out of a HeroClick base part. I got my little anvil out. Not anvil, my little, whatever it was called. Not anvil, but my little thing. I have a little vise. I don't know where I put it. So I'm going to cut these off first. I'm going to use this for my seat where the miniature sits. Okay. Something like that. It's a little bigger than the last one. Not insanely so. But the width is probably a little wider than I want it to be. And the length is just a little bit wider than I want it to be. I want a standard miniature to fit in there. So now I'm going to snip this front part off here. Can I get that off peacefully? And that's where the gas tank's going to sit. And that's going to fill up some of that space. This is the piece that was in here originally. Like that. That just would spin around, and there was a white piece of paper on there with some numbers, and then you would, spin this around and see. I don't know if you guys have ever played HeroClix. So anyways, I'm going to use that as the core of my bike, and then I'm going to get some beads to make my tracks. And I'm going to use these again. This still might be a little wider than I want it to be. And it's as wide as a miniature, though. I didn't feel like this was a good, sturdy. When I was moving it around on the table, a miniature would pop off it and stuff. So I decided I was going to redo that too while I was at this. I'm going to get some of these beads here. And this process is going to start out kind of how the original one did, but instead of having one track, I'm going to have two. I'm going to get some super glue and some beads, just like that, and make a little couple of these. Just like that. That's all I'm doing there. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some tracks and mount those. And you would think that I would have taken a break to come up with a plan. I didn't. I just didn't. That didn't cut straight, so I'm just going to try it again real quick. Okay, we can use that in other parts later. And we want that to be about as wide as one of those. Just like that. We want to make two of those. Okay. So to get that, oh, did that pop? Oh, those aren't connected. Okay. So to get it started, you want to make sure you have these curled so they stick better. Okay. Then you just want to get your first little bit here. Get a little bit of glue on there. Get into place. Just down like that. Okay. You want to kind of, need to try to do a better job there. I didn't get it on there just flush. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. And then I'm going to snip off that part there. And I'm just going to come around this. Carefully and slowly. Keep it lined up. And then it's going to come around and wrap, and I have some excess. I'm just going to snip that off. Okay. There's my first one. Just like that. First track, no problem. And now for my second one. Same deal. I'm going to snip off my excess. Just like that. I want it to overlap a little bit. Just like that. Okay. Now there's some spider webs and stuff on these. Some wonky glue crap. I'm just gonna get my blowtorch and clean those up a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna set those off to the side. So now I have 2 tracks and I need my gas tank. I used this bead for a gas tank last time and it was a little small. I'm going to see if I can get something just a little bit bigger. I have a ton of different bins of beads. So I just need one size category larger, and I'm going to use that one. And I want this to sit here, just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of glue there, a little bit of glue there. I'm going to pull that into place. Just like that. Then I'm going to come underneath here. I'm going to let that cool for a minute. I'm going to get up in here. I'm just going to push that glue into that little bit of a gap so it's not like a glob or a ball. There we go. Throw a little bit more in there if I need to. Okay. This should be cool down here. Alright. So I need to mount the hook these onto a base and then hook them together so that I can have, you know, like we did yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire brush this. Okay. And then we'll just hopefully get this mounted on here. Okay, push it down, get a good bond. Okay, and I just want to make some interest on here. You guys have seen me do a million of these kind of little bases, so for me to go out of my way to try to make it exceptionally fun to watch is just kind of pointless. Oops. All right, so we want to get these on there, and I'm going to put the ugly part on the inside so you don't see it. Okay, something like that. I'm gonna get out of glue and get a base on here so I have something to hold on to when I'm working. Okay, and then we do want to use the other pieces to mount it again like we did before, don't get me wrong, but before we put this on there we want to get our handlebars in place. So I want to put my handlebar in there and I want to center it the best I can. And this time, I'm going to super glue it, or hot glue it in place first. Just like that. Make sure it's kind of squared off and it's going to stay. Then I'm going to fill that gap in a little bit. Just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to bend these up once that cools, after I get done burning my finger. Bend these up and back a little bit, just like that. Just like that. That's going to be my handlebars again. And then once I get those how I want them to sit, a little bit of super glue, like that, in there, and fill that gap in the best you can. I'm going to come on the outside here, the back side here, and I'm going to add some more, just like that. And sturdy that up a little bit. Now I have a bunch of crazy texture and shape I don't want. I'm just going to catch this hot and let it melt down out of the way. Okay. And we'll let that cool once I get it back into place. Just like that, and we'll set it off to the side. So on this, we want to add the tailpipes again, how we had them last time. This time I'm going to do a little different. So what I want to do is have it to where they're more like tailpipes, but they still give this thing some structural integrity. So I'm going to have them coming out the back, not out the front. Just like I did on the, well, not just like I did, but similar to how I did on the other one, but the configuration is going to be a little off. Okay. Something like that. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Now, we need the track part, and I should have done that first, but I didn't. So I'm going to do is get and again, I really won't see the back as much, so I'm just going to do one on the back. Okay. Now our seat should be dry. There we go. We're going to get our Mini on here. Did I put that forward too or back too far? I did. I put that back too far. So we're going to pull it and just lean it up some like that. And we're just going to add a little glue in there. Pull it forward and let it cool. It's close. It kind of snaps in and snaps out. We need to come forward a little bit more. Okay. Okay, now let's try it again. And we have some room to play. All right. That one's bent down a little bit. I'm just going to get a tiniest little bit of glue and heat that up again. Move that around. Okay. I'm just eyeballing all that. Okay. All right, so let's get that on there the best we can. Try to make sure it's straight and sits nicely. Okay. Make sure everything's going to hold paint well. That's all I'm doing here. Okay. Oh, I wanted these to go back a little bit. It's kind of hard to mess with them now. They're kind of straight up and down now. So we're going to have to heat these up a little bit. Tweak these back a little bit. Just like that. Okay. And let them cool. Get this back into place. Okay. Now I'm going to waste a brush for this. You don't have to. Again, personal choice. Doesn't have to be done. Getting some super glue in one of those cheapy, like 100 for a buck or two kind of deals. I'm going to paint this crap that I need to stay forever in super glue. Need more super glue. I want to make sure I get down here where the wheels connect to the base real good. Okay. All right. I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to get some baking soda. Bring this up a little bit. That one's a little bit off. Okay. Much better. Here we go. Pull that out some. There we go. Sprinkle baking soda on some of this. Now there's not a lot of glue, so you're going to get a little bit of dirt and grime texture, and that's about it. I need to pimp this a little bit, this handlebar a little sturdier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of glue there. There we go. And just make sure I have it all congruous and sturdy. Get that paintbrush I was using. Get that all on there like that. Make sure I clean all that up. Okay, so I just realized my tailpipe things block my front wheels from turning. I'm going to try to get them off. Not holding my breath. Oh, there we go. One. one tailpipe it is. That means we got to cover that area up with something. The good news is we have something, because I can use these pieces that we salvaged. Where's my tweezers? I can use these pieces that we salvaged from cutting off the sides. Just like that. We can do that on each side, actually. It's a little off kilter like that. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I can live with it for now. Let me pull this one off. And we'll put a spacer back there. I don't know where my cutters are. There they are. We'll put a spacer back here in this hole. Just like that. Okay. And where's that piece I cut off at? There it is. And we'll put that on again. Just like that. Okay. Cool. Get a little bit of stupid glue in there to make that permanent. Hello, stupid glue. This is your home now. It's your home, little buddy. Cool. All right. Took a little longer to build this one. I want to clean this up a little bit here. And that will do that, actually. Use my super glue paintbrush for one last time. All right. Seems like this handlebar is a little bit longer. Okay, cool. Let's get our dude on there. All right, let's get some paint on there first, and then we'll get our dude on there. We know the dude fits, but we'll just double check. My spleen. Put my paint back, hold on. All right, let's see what we got here. A little bit of hot air, go a long way on a mini like this. Okay, we're going to do things in a little bit of a different order this time. Let me get some cardboard. First I'm going to do the brown, like I did last time though. I'm going to water that down with my dirty paint water. And you're probably wondering why brown. Well, if everything's dirty and gungy, brown is a pretty good base color to capture that. And I have a lot of this brown too, which kind of helps. It's a little lighter than I wanted. I'm going to darken that up real quick. A little bit of Dollar Tree black. Okay. Much better. Okay, I'm going to get a smaller brush, like the one I was using yesterday, for example. I'm going to get my pavement. No, give me some paper. Got some pavement. Do my wheels, my road wheels and pavement. Okay, it doesn't matter if some of that brown's still in there. You can just grab that and drag it along with it and it'd be okay. Painting the inside of my road wheels. Okay. I'm gonna mix a little bit of my black in with that. A little bit of my brown. I'm gonna do my tracks in that. Okay. I'm gonna pick up any of that wet paint that didn't dry too while I'm on it, on the main body. Okay. Let's dry this off, move on from here. Okay, I need a metallic color to mix in. I'm going to use this copper color I have here. Antique copper it is. That's a lot. I just wanted a little bit. I'm going to get a crappier, kind of smaller brush. gonna get my bristles wet. I'm gonna get some of that metallic. I'm gonna mix it in with some of this stuff here. I'm gonna dab around on the base and create some of the much needed variation down there, making sure I don't hit my tracks or road wheels. I'm gonna hit this tailpipe. I think that's the only spots I really need to worry about with that. Okay, so the bike itself is gonna be blue since I did yesterday's in red. This is called Admiral Blue. It's pretty dark from the Wally World. My brush is damp, not soaked. Just like that. And I noticed my brush is getting a little chunky, so I'm just going to grab a little bit more water. Keep the chunk off. Just like that. If I start to feel like it's getting too chunky, I will re-wet it. That's all. I did not want to get my brush wet enough when I came back in. So this is making it look way too factory paint. But it's going to be alright. We'll fix it. We'll make it look nice. Well, unnice. We don't want it to look nice. We want it to look not nice. So I'm going to just be real careful and do a little bit of the inside here. I'm going to make sure I'm real careful. Clean up the sides. Just like that. Get everything blue. Back here. Nice and blue. Okay. Cool. Okay, I'm going to rinse out that brush. I'm going to grab some of this black. I'm going to do the seat in a real thin watered down black. And if I don't make it all the way out to the edges, I'm not going to panic. Because it's going to dry and leave some different... My brush is losing its wet and it's more paint now, unfortunately. Get that mixed in there. Smear it around. Okay. We know my handlebars have to be black. Cool. All right, now we need a metallic. And I had lost my metallic, and then I found my metallic, and I lost my metallic. I'm just going to use this one because I know where it is. Paint that tailpipe silver. Do my handlebars silver. Then I'm just going to try to see if there's any spots that could benefit from this. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit of silver there and there. Let me get that black. Drag that back up on there. It was a little bit too watered down, maybe. I'm going to get that real wet. I'm just going to drag that around on that track a little bit and darken that up. When that dries, it won't be as dark, obviously, because that's just real watered down. All right. Now, there's some other cool things we can do to pimp this. But before we do that, let's make our stuff put away. Let's get a little bit of hot air. Now, I'm going to use a piece of toilet paper because I can't reach a t-shirt, but I have a little bit of too much extra of this black on here. I'm just going to dab that away so it doesn't blow around when I'm trying to paint. We're trying to dry this, okay? Nothing too serious. Feels good on my hands. All right, that's not dry all the way for whatever reason. All right, we're gonna get that same tiny brush I was using. We're gonna get some bright red miniature paint. I'm gonna paint some tail lights on the back here. Something like that, real easy to do. I'm gonna do a little dot up here. Nothing too schmance. I'm gonna do a red line across the front here, a little bit like Kit, if you know the reference. And then on the side here, we'll do a little circle here, and a little circle here. Something like that. Cool, cool, cool. Now I'm going to get a lighter blue. What is this? Oh, this is that tropical blue that's actually gloss. This has screwed me before on a miniature. All right, so I'm just going to get a real thin dab of that. I'm just going to do something, a line across here lightly. A line across here lightly. Why is that not? I'm going to get a little bit more over here and do a little bit up there. And it's okay if it's a little beat up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Absolutely no reason to try to do a straight line. No reason at all. No reason at all to do that. I was just doing it for fun. It wasn't that fun. But a little bit of trim breaks up the shape some, makes it a little interesting. Definitely not needed. Okay. Want to put a little license plate on the back of it? Do we need one? Not really. Let's do it. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's not do it. All right. No license plate. Let's get some off-white. Poke us a hole in that damn thing. There we go. There we go. A little bit of white. Something like that. Just get a little bit thicker. Okay. Oh, we have the white out. Might as well do a little bit of white stuff here too. We'll do a white dot here and a white dot here. That's just going to be some kind of random, we don't know why thing that's on there. White dot there. White dot there. Something like that. Now I'm just being silly. We need a headlight. Oh, now we almost forgot the headlight. My spleen. Really, we'll get some more of those clear things because I don't want to use a clear one. What color is this one? Purple? Nah. We'll use clear. Super glue, poo 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 poo, boo boo boo. You know, we could really, if we wanted to, we could really get stupid with this. If these were, oh, I lost it. If these were metallic, these would be awesome. It's got to be light blue at this point. Oop. Really do some intricate 3D bullshit with these little blue rivets, and since I already painted it, they're blue, so it works out perfectly. Let's get a couple more of those. I mean, we already painted this thing, so we're not hurting anything at this point. We're just being silly. Just being silly. Oh no. That's why you don't do it afterwards, because you can't peel it off really. But sometimes silliness just kind of works. Now I'm just having fun. I'm not even this. Don't take any of this from this point on seriously. I'm just goofing around. Okay. Let's get yellow. It's looking fairly factory at this point, kids. Okay. One more thing. I want to get the speedometer slash, that thing white. Oh no. We had some runoff. My paint was too wet. I'm just going to suck that up quickly. There we go. Nice. All right. Trackbike part 2. Much better than part 1, I would guess. Let me get this cleaned off. Hit that a little better. Just like that. Make sure that we don't have any water there. I'm going to get a little bit of this copper, this metallic copper here. It's watered down pretty good. I'm going to get a little bit of this brown. A little bit more water. And I'm just going to kind of touch some of this plate that's on the ground to make it look a little different. Drag it along that crack. Get it on that plate a little bit, on that plate a little bit. There's some messy stuff there. I'm going to get a little bit of metallic black. Mine's super watery. I'm going to get it even more watery. I'm going to dirty up my ground a little bit. Gunge it up, if you will. This is a little less wet. I'm going to do that there. Get a little, really with a lot of water in it right here. Drag it down along the bottom of that track. I'm going to get a little bit on my track too. A little bit of gunginess. A little bit on my road wheels. Just on the bottom of my road wheels, really, I guess. Okay. Sweet, 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 sweet. Anyways, I was trying to have a good time. Sorry if you didn't like it. But it turned out pretty neat, and it definitely is more functional than the first one. It is a little bit bigger, but it can't hold a mini. Oh no, it can't hold a mini anymore. Oh, this bent. This warped at some point. Oh well. I don't care. I'm happy. It's good enough for government work. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment. And if you want more crafting tips, play the video in reverse. You'd be surprised at what you might hear. You will definitely not join a cult. And in Doomakiss's name we pray. Now you don't know who Doomakiss is. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Ba-da-ba-ba-da.